One of the simple ways in which we see the blending of productivity tools and business processes of Dynamics 365 Business Central is through Microsoft Outlook. Business Central extends Microsoft Outlook to include access to financial information and enable users to easily interact with customers and vendors. In this scenario, we'll show you how to enter in a sales quote, send that quote to the customer via email, convert that quote to an invoice, post it, and convert to cash, all within the context of Microsoft Outlook. So let's begin by entering in a sales quote. So imagine here I am in this scenario. I've received a request for a quote from our customer. The customer wants pricing information for 2 items. They include an attachment as well as the items for 7 chairs and 2 tables. Now, typically in this process, most order entry or sales reps would have to minimize Outlook, go open up their quoting system, log in, find the customer, and then begin to type in or copy and paste. Now, this process is automatically streamlined by selecting in the ribbon the Contact Insights icon here in Business Central. So when I click on the Contact Insights, you'll notice that I get a quick view of everything about this particular customer. So again, Outlook recognizes this is a customer in our financial management application. Now, before I enter in the order, I can do research on the customer, for example, previous shipments. I can see what we had sent out to the customer in the past. I'll select back, but let's go ahead and enter in the new sales quote. So I insert or select the new icon. I'll select the sales quote. Now, immediately, not only does Outlook recognize the customer, but it's also reading the body of the email, and it auto-suggests line items for the sales quote based on items that we have in inventory. So I'll go ahead and select both those chairs and tables, and then I'll go ahead and select OK. And now notice I've got a quote. It ends in 1003. I've got those items here on the right side. And then if I go ahead and select the ellipsis, you'll notice that because I had attachments, I want to include that in the document or in the process with our quote to order to cash. So here I go ahead and insert the attachments. I'll select the attachment that was included in the email and select OK, and then go ahead and close that. So now again, I've got a quote from Outlook. It began with an email from one of our customers. Now I'm going to go ahead and minimize Outlook just to show you that here I have got now the sales quotes. If I open up that tile, this again is my quote 1003. So the real-time seamless integration shows that quote within Business Central. And in addition to the line items correctly entered, you'll see on the right side under attachments, I have the document. So the customer wanted to ensure we had the right table and chairs on their order. We'll go ahead and close that out. Now, next step in the sales process is to send this via email. So with the quote still open in Outlook, I'll use the ellipsis on the right side, and towards the bottom, you'll see I have an option to send by email. I can open up the attachment just to make sure it looks good and to confirm what I'm sending the customer is accurate. Now the customer calls or the customer will email, we go ahead and get the approval. Next step is to convert to an invoice. So again, here's this same document. On the right side, I'll go ahead and make this an invoice. Depending on the business process, maybe it's to make it a sales order first. We'll just go ahead and make this an invoice. I'll select yes. And now notice the document number has changed from a quote to a sales invoice. Again, I'm going to minimize Outlook. Notice that my sales quotes has decreased from 3 to 2, and my sales invoices, which was originally 7, is now 8, and this is the invoice that we created directly within Outlook. Next, let's go ahead and post that invoice. Again, I'm still within Outlook. Over on the right side, I'll use the ellipses for all of the actions. I will select post. And now notice that sales invoice becomes a posted sales invoice. And again, I could hit the back button here, and I could drill into the balance, and notice the customer now has an outstanding balance, which they didn't before. Next, we'll go ahead and convert to cash. So the customer sends us money. We'll go open up under cash management, the cash receipt journal, and I'll open up the general batch journal. And here I'll enter in the amount of $2,783. And then under the document, I'll go ahead and select the invoice, and then I'll apply the open invoices. In this case here, we only have one, so that's correct. I'll preview the posting just before I actually post it. Okay, looks good. And then I would go ahead and post that invoice. So here you can see in that integration of Microsoft productivity tools, it's essential for our customers to rely on the suite of tools that they use to run their business. And you saw in that demonstration from quote to cash, how leveraging the integration of Outlook helps to reduce the initial learning of a new system, and it certainly reduces the time in our data entry process.